Hey guys, so I just want to talk about Edgar here because I do think that a lot of people probably have not even completed Shiva Spiritus yet, and if you have Edgar, it really made the fight so much easier because I did try without Edgar is subjected to a lot of RNG, and yeah, it's definitely a very difficult fight if you do not have Edgar. And with Edgar, just his FR will do, or even his LD, but his LD is also not that easy because you still need a very strong team to do it. But with his FR, Spirit, Shiva Spiritus becomes so easy, and he's like the best unit that you can have for that fight. But the question is, a lot of people is having doubt, is like, Edgar is not really a good character. A lot of people is not giving him very good recommendations, review. So, like, I do not want to pull just for this fight, right? I want to at least justify that he's useful for future fights, right? So here I am covering this content here, which I divided into several parts. The first part is actually talking about Edgar and his ability to fulfill a lot of other characters' FR, especially DPS. So if you look in this chart, on the left side I have magic user, on the bottom I have range, and on the right side I have melee. There are other FR that I did not include here, such as Squall, who obtained his FR earlier, so I didn't include him. But if you have Squall's FR, then the melee condition from Edgar actually does help him a lot in terms of team setup. So here, the DPS for Magic, we have Astos, then Celtius, and Ace. Astos is a very strong unit, so you probably want a full set of Magic user for him. And if you do not have that, like maybe because you're a new player or you just do not have the resource to be collecting so many Magic FR at this point, then Edgar fulfills so many roles here, right? Not only Magic, it can be used with melee or range. So he's a very good slot, third slot unit to be used together with Astos. And for Celtius, I do not really recommend Edgar because Celtius, we just get him in JP, so he's really recent. And also he's a support unit, so like, why are you bringing a utility unit to support the support unit, right? And Ace is more off-turn setup, so you want an off-turn team, and he's more of an Echo FR, if I can say so. So Astos is really a good character that you can pair together with Edgar. Then for Irvine we just get him, so I don't want to talk much about him, and he's also a debuffer. So then we have Noelle, Locke, Jill, Weiss, Kadash, right? All of them are DPS. So Edgar can help a lot if you pair them together. Okay, Queen, Iris are mostly support unit. So again, why are you supporting the support unit? Then like, you are supposed to build around the DPS so that you can maximize the damage. But if you look into some of my run, I use 3 support unit and easily defeat fights. So yeah, just don't listen to what I'm saying about supporting a support unit. Okay, for Calgar is also a off-turn DPS unit. So similar to Ace, you're supposed to use him in a different setup, which I do not really recommend for Edgar. So here, these are the list of characters that you know that will synergy very well if you put Edgar into the party. Just make sure that you are using the right type of weapon. So LD is magic, Bio Blaster, which is the HP plus that he gets after he uses his LD, that is also magic. And his S1 crossbow is range. S2, I forgot what it's called, but it's melee, and his EX is melee. His FR echoes is all of them, okay? Melee, range, and magic. Now, apart from fulfilling character's FR condition, Edgar, he can cancel pretty hell a lot of Shinryu's FR. Okay, so force weakness, like you need to deal a specific force weakness to cancel the enemy's FR. So Edgar having, you know, all three type of weapon condition, he can easily cancel most of the force of the enemy. So when the enemy activated their force time, and because now that a lot of enemy moving forth, everyone will be having an extra 2 to 3% FR charging rate, so definitely the enemy will be able to charge quicker than your party unless you use Chocobo Summon. So FR weakness cancel become quite mandatory, especially if they have condition that prevents damage, or they just like reduce your max brave, they make you hit 0. Yeah, all those sort of stinks, right? So if you look into this chart, basically a list of enemy that I've put up on the slide. The first one is actually DE15, which we will be getting soon after Rex. Then after that we have Iris fight, which requires melee condition. I don't remember every condition, but I know that they need generic weapon type, and Edgar having 3 can fulfill and break and cancel of all of the force type. Shantoto, and then you have Area 6, 6-man Area 6. Then Dorgan LC. Dorgan LC, I'm not 100% sure. I think you need to break the enemy, but I do not know if there are any condition that prevents you from breaking the enemy. But Edgar with defense ignore as well as weapon imperial, if there's no special condition that prevents you from breaking the enemy, then he will definitely be able to break the enemy if the enemy is unbroken due to high defense or, you know, things like that. Then we have the last dimension ends, the ET16, and the first fight requires range, and the second fight requires magic to cancel. So Edgar fulfill both of that. Okay, then we have X-Death fight, which I'm not mistaken is Astos fight. Then after that we have this Merilith, which is Queen's fight. Then Wise fight, and then we have Fusoya. I'm not sure that Bad Cat is from where, but the other fight that we can cancel is Wise final boss fight. Okay, it's a story chapter. So all of this Edgar can pretty much cancel their FR. Then at the top left we have a condition that as long as you enchant your character, so basically everyone else can fulfill this condition as long as they're enchanted. So that's Anna Crow's fight. Then we have Area 8. Okay, Area 8 is also another pain in the ass fight. It's not as bad as Area 5 or Shiva's fight, but it also need weapon imperial. The good thing is you do not need to have 3 weapon imperial, just 1 is enough. So anyway, Edgar come in handy, especially if you use him in the background. He can just jump in and inflict weapon imperial. And the other one, if I'm not mistaken, is Lightning's fight, I think. No. I can't remember which fight was that, but it also requires enchant. And the one on the right there as well, it needs to be broken. So again, I'm not sure if there's a specific condition that prevents the break, but with Edgar, Weapon Imperial, and Defending R, it should be able to break the enemy. So here you might be asking, right? If Edgar can cancel all of those FR, then, and you know, just by having melee, range, or magic, then any other magic character can cancel the condition if magic brave is required as FR weakness, or melee, or range. Like I do not really need to bring Edgar in. I can just have, those specific DPS that all have different weapon type. So what is the advantage here? So technically, but here let me list out a list of advantage. First of all, yes, Edgar damage is actually pretty mediocre, not really great at all. and the utility that he have to basically make your team hit harder is not really that much of a thing now, because most of the time you can cap on damage. And yep, if you can cancel melee or range of magic FR weakness, so any other character can also do so. And there is enough character to fully synergize on FR condition. That depends on weapon type, which means it's like if you are using Squall, I probably will bring like Kurasame and maybe another melee support like Iris, who is coming soon, right? So all of them are melee. Then if I'm using Astos, probably I can use Ram, who are magic. Then who else is magic, right? So Sarah, right? So you can actually bring those characters in and fulfill all the conditions. So, but that is the thing. You need to have probably a deep roster. Okay, so if you're like a new player, or like you are running out of resources because this month has been so heavy and we've been getting characters with very good kit like Aerith, Core, Quina, Baltier, right? So if all of those characters, you are probably running low on gems and you would want to save up, and you felt like, you know, Edgar, since it's not a very good unit, so you want to skip. But let us look into some advantages that I have listed out. So here, just imagine this. If you are in a fight that need range FR weakness, but you wanted to bring like Squall as your main DPS, and you want your entire team to be melee, so nobody will be able to fulfill the range condition. So you'll be like, oh, okay, I could not use Squall in this fight because I will not be able to set up for a very good BT phase, a FR phase, and at the same time I might not be able to cancel the enemy FR. So Edgar fulfilled this form of restriction very well. So another example here is like Astos is magic. You want to main Astos in every fight because his DPS is out of the chart. He is crazy, right? And you want to bring a full magic team, and now the FR condition is attacking with the melee. So here, this is where Edgar comes in. He can use his echo to break, okay, to break enemies FR, and at the same time fulfilling Astos condition and increases the HP damage bonus by 90 to 100%. So he can do that for a lot of characters. Okay, those that I've listed in the first slide. So you can refer that. So if you really want to use one of that character as your main character, and with that character you probably do not want to pull any other character because you want to save up, then Edgar really fulfills this role very well. And one of the important things is that I would consider him a budget unit, because you don't need him to be green to fulfill all this role. And even if you have him green, the only thing extra that you get is his trap, which is a bit hard to time, so it's probably not that useful as well. So if you do not need them, then just bring him as a base unit with just his FR. You don't need his BT. And moving forth from Shiva right now, most of the fight is pretty much easier. So the only thing that you are probably concerned of is cancelling enemies FR. And yeah, so if you are still having a hard time fighting against Shiva and you are low on resources, I would say at least try to get Edgar's kit maybe through ticket, you know, at least get his FR, and that can easily help you solve Shiva Spiritus, Dare to Defy stage 7, and at the same time you know that Edgar is actually not as useless as everyone mentioned that he is, right, including myself. But yes, if you are trying to pull like an Excalibur's run or Theologica where you fully optimize your damage, win in a single FR, Edgar is probably not the character that you will bring because he doesn't bring that much DPS, right, to skip mechanics and things like that. But yeah, so if you are like having not enough UW to be pulling all of that, not enough characters that have full FE30, full a lot of FR echoes, that your option is rather limited, then Edgar is a really good character for you all to have. Okay, anyway, I'm just suggesting this. If you, yeah, you don't have to pull for Edgar if you do not want to. So yeah, that's that. So anyway, if you are, so good luck with your pulls, and I might be running, you know, some of this examples that I have mentioned on the slide just to prove a point, and I will include that in my infographic in the future. So if some of you would like to replicate some of my fight, then you know at least I will be including Edgar in some of them. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video, and goodbye.